City Attorney Communications.
Madam President,
Yes,
I have a question in the mayor's report, not the financial report. Mr. Barker, if you want to come back up, can I ask him a question?
yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. I've got to find out something. Mr. Barker, do you recall when the subpoena that we have gotten a copy of was received by the city?
The copy of the subpoena that you received was received on Friday.
Okay. Okay, so that would be, I don't remember what date that was, so. The 22nd? Okay. So on 22nd we received it. Now, did you see it when it came in?
I did. It was delivered to me.
Okay. Okay, here's my problem. On the 26th, you sent us a memo that says you have recently learned federal authorities have subpoenaed several city employees in relation to an investigation they are conducting. While the exact nature of this federal investigation remains unclear, it seems to pertain to issues first raised by a former city official. Well, it's pretty clear in the subpoena what they're looking at, and this is the communication issue that I have a problem with. We didn't actually get the subpoena until, I think it was this morning. And yesterday we were told we were going to get it. We didn't. The media got it. And these are the things we need to work on, because this is a vague memo that was written and given to us. In the meantime, it's been with the city for a few days, and we're the governing body. I mean, it went to the records custodian, which is, I assume, is our clerk. And we have got to have information like this, because we've got all kinds of rumors flying around, and of anyone, you need to let us know first, not the media, but the council.
Yes, and if I could elaborate on that somewhat. The employees' subpoenas were not issued till Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember what day, but one of those days the subpoenas were issued to the employees. In the meantime, since this dealt with the nature that you had described of the federal inquiry, the research had to be done as to whether this was a public record or not. When my memo went out as CFO to the council notifying them of this, right after that there was a public records request for the subpoenas. And at that time it was still being researched as to whether we could release them. I personally spoke with the office that issued it to me. They said I had to get individual legal advice as to whether it was public record in Florida or not. We sought attorney's advice as to whether that could be done. In order to get the public record request, we wanted the information, if I'm not mistaken, by 4:30 yesterday, I think it was. I'm getting my days messed up, but I think they wanted it by 4:30 yesterday. I had went home about 6 or 6:15 and had not heard from the attorneys. I understand after that point that the attorneys had made a decision on the information that was released, that was a public record and could be released, and the individual that got that out, to get it out quickly, although it was a couple hours late to the public record request, who made that public records request, had failed in a rush to get it out to notify council of that. So they were trying to answer the public records request and failed to send it to council, and that's what happened in that situation. Now, for clarification, the information that was delivered Friday to me that was decided somewhere by the time I left the office that it could be released, I think it was Wednesday afternoon, was released. But that particular subpoena was to me was issued to me as custodian of records. Now, you are absolutely correct that the city clerk is the custodian of records, but there are records that that individual departments have and that type of thing. And so I asked the individual who served me does he want the custodian of, all the records of the city, or is he just asking for the custodian that would have these records that he's requesting? And so the city clerk's office was not involved in that. somebody in my office is pulling all those documents together, getting that information for them. Now, as far as the subpoenas as it relates to the individuals, I have not heard from the attorneys yet if those are public record or not public record. Now, this is the first time I've been involved in this type of situation in all my years with the city. So I certainly don't want the federal courts to be concerned about that, but it was an error because the release was supposed to go out very close together to City Council as we were trying to get the public records request. So I do apologize for that.
Madam President, we are not the public. We are the governing body of the city, which means we can get things that aren't public record. We have discussions about, we've had briefings, private briefings when it comes to employee things. We have got to know before the press. I don't see why we're treated as public. We have got to have the information. And if it has to be done some way where it's out of the sunshine because of the nature of it, we've got to do that. We can't wait till it's a public record. And I don't want the individual subpoenas, that's their business. But if something comes to the records custodian for our city and we're the governing body, we need to know about that. We need to be able to see it. And not do a public records request for it.
Yes, sir. As I say, you were going to get the information whether we got the public information or not. That's why I got the memo out as soon as I could get the release to get the memo out. I had to check with the attorneys if that could be released. They said, yes, the letter could be released under my CFO, so I released that. The question was the document that was released yesterday, as if it could be released at all. I did not know if it could or not.
And I understand that, Mr. Barker, but what I'm saying, and wanted this in the record, that your memo is misleading, because it was clear what was in this subpoena, and what we were sent was misleading, because you had a copy of the subpoena. And that's all. I don't need any additional discussion. That's all I wanted. Thank you.
Councilman Myers.
Yes, I found out in the press basically what was in the subpoena, but I would like to have had the subpoena because it was quite a lot more extensive than what was stated in the press. But I contacted Mr. Messer and Mr. Wells and asked them for information regarding this matter, and both responded that they had no information, didn't know about it, couldn't give me any information, and Mr. Messer said that Beggs and Lane was handling the issue. So what I would like to know is, who is Beggs and Lane representing? Are they representing the city? Are we paying them? Who are they representing, and who hired them? I mean, does anybody know?
Mr. Barker?
Yes, ma'am, I do. The issue is that the city is supplying an attorney for the employees that were subpoenaed. And the city is supplying for the public records request and that type of thing that we have for me to try to figure out if it can be released or not. There's been, I probably asked 3 or 4 attorneys about that particular issue.
Okay, so do we have any kind of written agreement with Beggs and Lane regarding the services they are furnishing the city regarding this matter, or?
I do not have one. This has happened pretty quick, and getting all the public information together that the subpoena has requested. We've been working on that, and I have met with the attorney today about the situation, and I have requested that a contract, a letter of understanding, some type of document be prepared in this.
Okay. Well, all right, okay. Well, that would be nice to have something in writing with them. I mean, I can understand if it's an emergency, you can't always, just whip out a contract.
Yes, ma'am.
until you know what, you're going to be retaining them for. But anyway, thanks a lot.
Okay. So just to follow up, there will be some type of communication with the council in reference to attorneys and that sort of thing in reference to this issue?
Yes, yes, ma'am, as long as the attorneys say that I can release it. Like I say, all this is new to me when you're dealing with federal court, and so as soon as I get that it's okay, council will be notified.
Thank you.